Absolutely. Let's now take a look at some of our leading stories in our Sunday newspaper headlines. I'll tell you what's in between the lines as we take a look at the Sunday Times. Catastrophe is the big headline there, showing the extent and the force of the waters there. Shipping containers lying scattered under a bridge in Durban after being washed away during flooding caused by the heavy rains that lashed KwaZulu-Natal this week. Government moves to prevent disaster relief corruption as flood, rescue and recovery operations kick in. We know that the government, one other immediate relief actions include erecting temporary residential units on stands where it's safe to rebuild homes and giving affected families 8,000 Rand vouchers that can be used to buy building materials. The Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana yesterday said that the agency option is being discussed as a way of insulating the funds from corruption and ensuring they are used for their intended purpose. Of course, big concern here. The National Treasury has already identified 1 billion Rand in contingency reserve funds that can immediately be released to departments to assist families affected by the floods. Huge concern when it comes to the question of corruption and whether or not these funds will reach the beneficiaries. Climate crisis, are we ready? Devastating, tragic words alone are inadequate to describe the scale of the horror experience in KwaZulu-Natal this week, with up to 398 people dead, dozens are missing, hundreds of homes and businesses have been destroyed. The floods of 2022 will go down in history as one of South Africa's worst natural disasters, really telling of a catastrophic week, Buhle.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, the Business Times goes on to write about the economic havoc that these floods have wreaked on KZN in particular. Logistics networks are severely disrupted, and insurers say that this will run into the hundreds of millions of rands to fix. The devastating floods in KZN will be felt throughout the economy as critical logistics networks have been severely disrupted. Durban Port was closed this week, which means that some operations have resumed, but for the container terminal, it is largely inaccessible at the moment. Now, the CEO of the Road Freight Association, Gavin Kelly, said that authorities in KZN have asked that where possible, that no more trucks head for the port until that situation has been approved. There are already long queues of trucks along the N3. The Marion Hill Toll Plaza has a backlog of some 10 kilometers. That's all the way to Hammersdale. And the problem is that, according to the Road Traffic Inspectorate, the local communities are now targeting the trucks for looting as well. Some damage will take months to repair. This goes on to say that delivery disruptions for imported goods will also be seen, and the association has advised members to delay any departures towards Durban, but they do expect the container terminal to resume relatively, or operations there at least, to resume relatively soon. But a big economic knock-on effect that we are feeling from these floods as well, and this is going to be felt all the way inland as well, of course, Durban being one of our major ports into the country. Absolutely.
Let's turn our attention now to the Sunday Independent, which reads, response to floods slammed. The death toll has exceeded the 400 mark after the worst floods in 60 years ravage eThekwini and catch the government napping. Government's poor response under the spotlight to KwaZulu-Natal floods has come under heavy criticism. Some have attributed the entire situation to a leadership crisis, outdated disaster management plans and poor infrastructure maintenance as this death toll now heads to 400. It comes after the country's worst floods in 60 years ravaged eThekwini, leaving scores of people traumatized, desperate residents without food, electricity and water. And of course, the government has since declared a state of disaster in KwaZulu-Natal, saying it's going to be spending billions of rands in emergency funds to alleviate the impact of the floods. Now, still on the Sunday Independent, a story here which has the caption, Corruption, Prisoners Made to Write Assignments for Officials. It speaks of top management of one of South Africa's private prisons failing to inform UNISA that some of their officials were allegedly cheating by submitting assignments written by prisoners who were promised favors. And upon investigation, yes, it was found that one of the prison officials who claimed to have intimate knowledge of the practice yesterday saying the prison management decided to be referees, players and coaches in the same game and expect everyone to be spectators. Really, really shocking revelations here. And also telling the story of a woman, a wall collapsing on a woman as heavy rains hit Eastern Cape district. Also speaking to the other impact of the floods in a different province in the Eastern Cape, showing a woman seen through a damaged wall hanging her clothes on a makeshift washing line. Really, really harrowing stuff.
Absolutely. This on the second page, Kelly has been through the worst. This is referring to Kelly Khumalo and in regards to the Senzo Meyiwa trial, the singer Kelly Khumalo's decision to have advocate Madulini Munsami on a watching brief at the murder trial of late soccer great Senzo Meyiwa has tongues wagging, but Munsami hit back saying Khumalo had nothing to hide. The advocate placed herself on record before Judge Chifiwa Maumela on Monday in the Gauteng High Court saying that that she represented Khumalo, and Munsami told the Sunday Independent's sister paper, Sunday Tribunal, or the Sunday Tribune rather, that she was not privy to the dockets or any other case-related documents, but that her responsibility was to ensure that the procedure was being followed to the letter. Of course, looking to keep Kelly Khumalo safe. She has been implicated in some way or another throughout this case, and of course she's just making sure that the singer is, I guess, not wrongfully implicated for anything in this case. But it is a trial that continues, and it really does have the attention of the South African soccer-loving public, as well as the world now.
Yeah,
it really has gained quite a lot of steam, this trial.
Speaking of Kelly Khumalo, we see her here on the front page of the City Press, a night of melodic prayer. She hosted a gospel concert at the Lyric Theatre at Gold Reef City in Johannesburg on Good Friday, sharing the stage with Dingiwe Mhlaba, Ayanda Ntanzi and the likes. Also, a big caption here, 480 million rand bill for the idle state cars. 4 years after millions were splurged on them, a new fleet of more than 300 commercial and industrial vehicles has never been used. How shocking is that? According to insiders, the vehicles were acquired to replace the old and broken fleet to help with service delivery, but a protracted court battle is apparently the reason they have not been used. And the forgotten cars are at the municipality's mechanical workshop and include sedans, bakkies, tracker-loaded backhoes, trucks, tractors, construction, maintenance and waste collection vehicles. Shocking revelation here, especially looking at the impact of the service delivery issues that are experienced in the Rustenburg municipality.
Yeah, on the back page of the City Press, PSL dares chiefs in court papers. The League and Amakosi are arguing over a PSL COVID-related rule and arbiter order blamed for Roe. The PSLs criticized the arbitrator and the process that ruled in favor of Kaizer Chiefs in the arbitration case against SAFA last month. The League insists that Advocate Nasir Kasim acted beyond his powers and that the process that led to the order of a replay of 2 league matches the Chiefs failed to fulfill in December was fundamentally flawed. This was contained in a 1,290-page document that the PSL filed before the Johannesburg High Court ahead of the hearing on the 10th of May. Now, this has also got a couple of other clubs involved as well. Cape Town City coming out and saying that they refuse to play that match that they did show up for, mind you, against the Kaizer Chiefs when COVID did ravage the club at the time, and they're saying that they categorically do not want to be included in that. So we'll see exactly how this goes, but a lot of drama coming the way of Amakosi so far this season. Also, it doesn't help that they didn't win or aren't playing great football at the moment.
Right, and quickly wrapping up with the Sunday World, some bodies washed away forever, a picture that really tells the devastation. Recovery mission expected to last for months. Rescuers tell of families anguished to find their missing loved ones. And a government mortuary worker says, you know, they are used to receiving corpses, but what they've seen this week is nothing like she's ever seen before. Really, really telling of the level of devastation and really heart-wrenching image as we look at at the Sunday World front page. Let's, of course, wrap it up as we, give you some reflection on what you can expect as you go through the Sunday papers this morning. Let's now